Hello and welcome to Win Without Law School's class on trial skills. My name is Billy Tarasio and I'm co-hosting here with Julie Lebenz. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Billy. I'm so excited to be here today. This is going to be a really fun class.
Yes, so this class is specifically about teaching you how to put together a case that you're going to present in front of a judge, a family law case. And Julie, will you give people a little bit of background on your trial skills and how you came to teach this class?
Yeah, so in law school, I took a trial advocacy class. And at the time, I was actually studying to have a specialized law degree in environmental law.
Hmm.
So I thought I was going to be an environmental lawyer. And then I took this trial advocacy class and I was like, wow, I really want to be in the courtroom. And certainly as an environmental lawyer, you have some opportunities to be in the courtroom, but it's maybe once every 5 years or something, those are really big litigation cases. It's not like a family law practice where you're in trial all the time. So, I ended up abandoning, environmental law and I went, straight into the courtroom as a prosecutor. I worked as a prosecutor for 3 years, got a ton of experience. And then I went into private practice, worked with a senior attorney, and I was in a small town. So I did a little bit of everything. And I was in trial a lot. And it was really nice because I got a broad perspective of different types of law, different cases, and how to present a compelling case no matter what judge you're in front of. And also just kind of learning the emotions that go along with trial, and we're definitely going to talk about that today as well. But I did that for 6 years, and then I went out on my own and have continued handling trials, mostly in the family law arena. And in family law, we have a really short amount of time to present a compelling case. So it's important that you prepare and that you're ready to tell your story in a very compelling way. And that's what Billy and I want to teach you today is how to do that because that's one way to win. And before we get much further, I want to make it clear that we can't guarantee any sort of victory for anybody. All we can do is teach you skills, and you have to know that each case is unique. And you're going to have some cases with just bad facts. And it's really about you doing the best you can, not necessarily about winning. We call it Win Without Law School because we're teaching you skills to put you in a position to win, but we can't at all guarantee that you will win.
It's totally true. It's a great point, and I have been in a situation where I think I've tried a perfect case where I could not have done any better and still lost. So
Yeah.
that's really an important point. You cannot beat yourself up if you don't get the outcome. And at the same time, if there's a lot riding on a case, if you're going to trial, if you're going to a family law trial, there's a lot riding on the case. And so you want to be prepared. And that is what we can teach you how to do is how to be prepared. My trial training has been a little bit different from Julie's. I grew up as a singer and in acting and got all of these storytelling and performance skills that I find translate to the courtroom because
Mm.
what we're really doing is vying for attention and vying for connection. So, how are you going to create a connection with your judge and make this person real, like a character? And I really do view um, it almost like an act or a play with chapters and characters. And who are you as the lawyer and who is the witness as a character? And how do you make sure that this character comes and shows up the way that you want them to show up? So it's going to be a super fun course. I'm so excited that you're here. This course is both for lawyers and legal paraprofessionals that want to learn trial skills and for people who are representing themselves. Although I will tell you, if you're representing yourself, you are playing multiple characters, which can be very, very hard. So we'll talk about all of that. Now, in terms of an outline, Julie, what can people expect in terms of the different courses or different chapters in our course today?
So in this first video, I'll give you a program overview, and we'll also talk about some important big picture concepts. We've already opened the door to that. We'll dive down into that a bit deeper. In the next video, we're going to talk about what you do leading up to the trial. So, how to develop a case theme and theory, what to put in your pretrial statement, and how to start with your closing argument, why that's so important. Because it goes back to this point Billy just made about telling your story. And when you draft your closing argument, that's when you really get your story to come together. In the third video, we will talk about another piece of preparation, which I call a trial outline. This isn't something you're going to find in any procedural book. This isn't required by the courts. You don't share this with the other side. This is your script that you take into the trial. So, of course, you need to draft it. And we're going to talk about what to put in your trial outline so that when you go into the courtroom, you have something to follow. It doesn't mean you're tied to your script. You're going to need to listen and go with the flow of the trial, but at least when it's your turn, you have something prepared. We're also going to talk about submitting exhibits to the court, preparing witnesses to testify, again, the pre-trial preparation. In the fourth video, we'll talk about opening statements. That's going to be a pretty brief video. Video 5, we'll talk about how to conduct an effective direct examination. The next video, we'll talk about cross-examination. From there, we'll get into redirect and rebuttal. We'll talk about objections, and then we'll tie everything together and close things out. So really, we're going to talk about each aspect of trial procedure, how to prepare for that, and how to position yourself to present the most effective case that you can.
Thank you all so much for being here, and we can't wait to dive in.